that you don't go faster around the turn than you do on a straightaway. So head in the hallway. A bad stance or bad setups. Boy, oh boy, do we see some gym dandies. Guys want to compare this to guys playing on television, right? Well, first of all, the guys on television have been at this a very, very long time. So they can take some intricate setups and make them work. Now watch those guys hit. Now those guys can hit the gas and keep it together. Until you can do that, you better slow it on down and get it together, right? Where if you give these to young players and they don't know where the weight is supposed to go, how things are supposed to turn and rotate to get inside the ball, we're going to be in deep trouble. But we're in trouble. Start out traditionally. Square, like the guy on top of the trophy, right? Shoulder a little bit wider than shoulder, legs apart, shoulder width apart. Checking their grip, right? They don't have their hands turned over. One of the ones I can always like to use is pointing my fingers. If I can point my fingers that way, then I know my hands are pretty close to straight. If they're getting like this, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. So just feeling your fingers kind of in the same spot, elbows are down. That's a functional stance. Then we can go right to the shoulder to shoulder. And have them learn that that's going to work out just fine for them. They want to get fancy. That's the next thing you know, the stances that I see that happen. These guys are turning their feet they'll turn their front foot this way. All that's doing is turning their hips. But both their feet will be pointing that direction. So now they turn as far as they can turn. How do you think it's going to work? It's going to go in a circle. They think that it's helping them get bat speed and everything else, so they don't realize that you don't go faster around the turn than you do on a straightaway. So they turn farther away from the pitcher. You can barely see the pitcher. And they spin, their hips open up first, and it's just downhill from there. So these guys, there's guys on TV you'll see have that front hip turned in, front foot closed, but their back hip is in great position. These kids won't end up doing that. They'll turn all over the place. Or they'll bend over too much at the plate. They want to bend over already. They don't know how to make that work. There's no way. We're going to stand upright. My shoulders are going this way now. Kids who want to stand like that, how are they ever going to hit a pitch above their knees? Right, they'd have to be back down here to be able to do that. So if I'm wider, I'm more upright. So head in the hallway, right? If I let my head come way over, I'm creating all sorts of holes. A lot of these kids just get up and they got some crazy junk going on out there, right? Now how about open foot? Right, they'll all stand like this with their shoulders because they want to feel rhythm. And then they're loading right out of the good stuff, bringing the whole front foot way over, using their back hip to pull the front side in. Now my hips are in very, very bad position. Pull that right hip back. Where are they now? Too much for young hitters. If I get into that position right now, just bend my right knee, I'm back into position. There we go. What's wrong with this to start off with? We can grow to some of those, but we got to find get the basic mechanics right and have some good lines to start out with, right? Having their hands way up high. A lot of these guys will rest their hands right on the inside of that thumb. So all the weight's on that thumb, that barrel's way behind them. Get it on the meaty part, and my hands can stay here. Now look at that grip. Right, so when I get there, you push the shoulder in, get to the ball, just close the hand. Takes the bat right to it. We have to work on all these things, right? Hitting starts from how you stand, to all the way through finish. So we got to get these things right. A lot of these things that we can get right on the bag. This is why we use this for so many of these things, is for posture. That's why we throw inside so much, for posture. So if I'm standing this way and I want to keep going my hands straight through the bag, I have to be more upright. Get my shoulders inside. Helps us find good balance and posture. Use the bag all the time for this sort of thing, right? So even if I'm standing here, I got to push my hands all the way in, my head stays back. Barrel comes by. As I work that more and more, I'm going to get more and more comfortable, and I'll feel how I can have access to the strike zone with my back shoulder. Punching the bag, inside the bag. Gets me more upright, into a good setup, be able to handle something. It's there, backside, inside. Right, left hand straight. So if these guys turn over, overload, how are they coming out of that one? Barriers. Can't go wrong with it. So remember, stance is very important. We can't have everybody trying to imitate some of the craziest stances that they see on TV right off the bat. There's a lot that go into that. So let's get the fundamentals right and we'll work from there.